We're going to be speaking about leveraging cloud tools, e-commerce with Quantum. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. Who am I? I'm Stephen Powell, manager of stockmarket.aero. I'm responsible for the ongoing development and execution of component control stock market services. So if you guys ever want to talk about stock market, you can come find me. I've got some cards where the cards are on that table out there. So you should be able to get that. And so some names to faces, some faces to names. We have here the stock market team. Maury is right here. He's head of sales. We have Michelle. Michelle handles all of our, right up there, handles our content. She handles non-quantum users, managing and policing spreadsheets. If you guys ever use the chat on stockmarket.aero, the little help chat, that's her. So that's fun. Anik, we have up here. She handles our designs. If customers need a logo, or if they need their logo resized for the website or for an ad or a tower banner, she helps out with that, and she does great work. So if you guys ever, feel like you want a tower banner or something like that, but you don't have the right images, she'll be able to help you out with that. We have Mr. Brown here. He's our tech support specialist, so he'll be able to help you out if you have any technical issues. Now the panel today includes a pretty hefty number of the before mentioned, but we also have Mr. Davison here. He's a Chief Technology Officer. Jason Blessing, Ambassador for the Northwest region. We have Heather down at the end there for the East Coast territories. So who knows what stockmarket.aero is? Michelle does. That's good. Now, as quantum users, you guys have access to stockmarket.aero. It's integrated in your system. We have real-time database interaction with your parts with stock market. There's a lot of great features in Quantum, but I do suggest that you guys peruse out to the website every so often, especially in conferences like this. You're away from your Quantum. You've got a computer, you've got a phone. We've got apps for Android, apps for iOS. So it's really cool stuff. And there are a lot of features on there that aren't on Quantum, so we'll talk about them. So you will all be getting copies of these PowerPoint presentations after the conference. And so I have some links here in the PowerPoint presentation so you guys can click on these certain things like stockmarket.aero. There's a link for that. Stock market training page. I'm actually going to click on this because it's so exciting. This is going to be some links to some really good videos going over stock market things in your Quantum database. A lot of the features that we're going to be going over, you'll be able to re-reference here. So it's a really good link. So what we're going to be talking about in this session, we're going to be talking about some of the newer features to the website. We're going to be going over broadcast messages. We're going to be going over part alerts, government procurement, RFQs sent and received, Quantum user benefits, visibility opportunities, data entry shortcuts. That's some of my favorite right there. And we're going to be going over the pre-pricing tool and the Quantum portal. So one of the first things we're going to go over is broadcast messages. We're actually going to go into a little bit of detail. Does anybody use broadcast messages? Oh, you guys will after. Don't worry. But So we're going to go over broadcast messages in a little more detail afterwards, but I want to go over specifically the parts wanted feature. So I'm going to just bring up the website. I'm going to log in. Everybody should have stockmarket.arrow logins. It's very easy to create. I'm going to go to the broadcast messages right here. And again, we're talking about the parts wanted. Now, what's really cool about, or what's new and cool about this feature is we go to post our message about this part that we want. And when we hit tab, we've got a list of all the preferred vendors who have this part available already selected to send an RFQ to. So this is actually the only place on the website where you can send multiple RFQs at once. So it's very cool. They're already selected. They're right here. It's also very easy to modify. Boom, boom, boom. And then you just broadcast your message and send the RFQ. Very neato stuff. Another new feature is the new search bar. So let's just head back to the website, go back home. So we see here we've got our search bar, just the regular search bar that you guys are used to, but it makes it very easy right here to change whether we're searching for stock or searching for capabilities. Now, as quantum users, a lot of you are not only keeping your stock real-time synced with stockmarket.arrow in your quantum database, but also you can advertise your capabilities, repair, manufacture, distribution. So you don't even need to have the parts in stock to be able to advertise them, because a lot of you are, manufacturing facilities. You're not focused on selling stock. But this is still going to give you the visibility that you need, and it's going to make your customers, it's going to make it easier for your customers to be able to search those parts. So, very exciting stuff, right, guys? Oh, yeah. I can see it. So right now I'm going to hand this off to Mr. Blessing, who's going to be going over broadcast messages in general, a little more detail.
Thank you, Stephen. As Stephen mentioned, I am the ambassador representative for the Northwest Territory. I'm actually based out of Seattle. So if you folks are in the Pacific Northwest or British Columbia or Alberta, you may have heard from me from time to time. Today I am going to discuss a little more about broadcast messaging. As Stephen mentioned, the parts wanted option allows you to input those part numbers and receive those alerts when other vendors are again posting those parts. In addition to that, you can post messages for parts for sale. So there is an option for parts for sale that you are actually broadcasting to the public. And then again, if you're subscribing to the parts wanted, you would receive those messages indicating that a vendor has posted those parts for sale. In addition to that, you can also provide announcements. Maybe if you just want to announce that you've received in some bulk of parts, or you've got a shipment coming in of something that you would like the community to see. If there are folks that are subscribing to those announcements, they will receive those messages from you, or you will receive those messages. So it's just a good way to just get those messages out there to your customers, to your vendors. Really works nicely both ways. The next piece I was going to discuss was part alerts. Now this actually gives you an option to, by the way, the last feature and this feature are a couple of features that are not available in Quantum. So these are exclusive to stockmarket.arrow. The part alert option just gives you that ability to input up to, I think it's up to 100 parts, correct? Where you can input those parts and receive any alerts when folks are posting those particular parts, right? So instead of getting general alerts for all parts with broadcast messages, this actually allows you to just focus on solely parts that you're interested in receiving information about. So when you go over here to where it says add new part alert, it gives you an option to just input those parts that you want, and then you can go ahead and receive those alerts for those particular parts. So again, exclusive to just stockmarket.aero, so if you guys want to check that out, that'll give you a little bit more flexibility in your part searches and an ability to find what you're looking for, as well as post what you're looking for, or post what you're selling. So now I'm going to pass you over to our Southeast Territory representative, Heather Dart.
Thank you, Jason. Good afternoon for those from the East Coast. Good evening for those from further east, and morning for us. My name is Heather Dart. I am the East Coast representative. I cover the territory from Maryland down to the Louisiana area. We are going to go over price search in the stockmarket.aero website. I don't know. This is a question for y'all. How many of you run your business with money? Raise hands. No hands? Nobody cares about money? Okay. All of you guys know that some parts in your inventory are worth, I'm not going to say nothing, but significantly less than others. Some of them have a large value. The question is, which of these parts have more value, less value? How do you know? When do you know? When does the market change? How do things flow? We give you a really good insight here into the pricing structure on your aircraft parts through a service called AVREF. How many of you know what AVREF is? Ha! I finally got hands. You don't care about money, but you know what AVREF is. Okay. So AVREF is, of course, a database that gives master cross-reference, manufacturer price list, and they keep this data for years and years and years and years and years. We know they've been around forever, and we love them, and good source. Okay, so when you come to our stockmarket.aero website, you can have access to the AVREF database. What we do is we pull all of the information in. You run your part number, and I'm just going to flip to the website here. Go to the price search, and I'm going to search A100. Okay, and I have a list of many part numbers. Exact match. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay, what this gives me, first of all, is a list of all the parts. We all know that A100s is both a CVR and a lamp and many other things. Apparently a switch knife, too. But the key is you have all of this information available to you, and we show you what your alternates are, what NSNs are available. We also have information here. You can click on the cage code, find out the manufacturer that made it. If you click on View, I'm just going to look at the regulator here. And of course, that one returns none. Steve, help me. There we are. This voice recorded, not the other one. Okay. So what we've got, it tells us right away who the company is that manufactured it. And wait, what is that? It's money. Okay. So there's a price here. It also tells us comments on it, model numbers, all the information. You guys know what AVREF is. I don't need to explain to you how AVREF works. But we have this information available to you on the website at any time. In Quantum, it is available as a module. If it's purchased on the website, it's here for you. The other thing we have available to you on the website through AVREF is, oh wait, how many of y'all deal with military aircraft? I'm seeing some hands. Okay. How many of y'all care how much the government spends on them? Gives you an idea of how much they're worth. and when the government purchased them. So even if you're not dealing with the current U.S. military aircraft, if you're dealing with past, if you're dealing with foreign governments, how much did the U.S. government pay for it? Because it's all public knowledge, if you can find it, how much the government pays for their contracts. So what we do here is we list the U.S. government contract number for the part, the date that it was awarded, who awarded it, the cage code, which the link, of course, shows you how to contact the company and if they're still in business, that kind of thing. But the key that I find interesting always is the date. Okay, so if the U.S. government hasn't purchased this since 1997, the manufacturer hasn't had a contract on it since 1997, are the drawings available? Is there a PMA? There's lots of other questions that can come into it. So the wealth of information under government procurement is really big if you can channel the resource for you. We provide this under government procurement on stockmarket.aero. And now if you guys are anything like me, when I'm working, I have 15 screens open, and stockmarket.aero is in somewhere deep that I was 5 minutes ago when I was searching for something else. And I come back to the website, and I'm over here in my inventory, and I can't find the prices. And I'm ready to throw my computer out the window because I'm needing this thing because someone's called me on the phone, and I know I've got it. And when in doubt, go to home, and there's your price search. Okay, so if you're looking for the price search, the government procurement, it's on our home page. Not many of y'all probably sit there on the home page because you're busy working in other areas. So if you're looking for it, you can always just click on the stockmarket.aero or, whoops, drag it here, or the home link, and you'll get right there to price search and government procurement. Alrighty, I'm going to turn it over now to, there you go.
So these links at the top of the screen are your activity history. So any RFQs sent or received through the stock market will show up listed under those. POs sent and received, same thing. My broadcast, if you post a broadcast message, you can go in, you can edit it, you can cancel it, or you can refresh and post it again as new. And then under my part alerts is the same thing. You can go in and edit it, delete a part alert, or create a new one. And here you can see part search results, and you can see that each of the companies listed have their logo. So all Quantum users get their logo placed next to their name on stock market. Non-Quantum users do not. It's a paid service we offer that helps them increase their placement, but it will come with being a Quantum user. Morning.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Maury Larijani. I'm in charge of all the sales activity for stockmarket.aero. And one of the services we offer for our clients is a part search app tool. This service is a web-based application that allows you to list your company inventory on your website and to receive requests for quotes and purchase orders 24/7 directly from your site in real time. Now, the part search app only showcases your inventory and not your competitors. And also it has some great features that you can use to effectively maximize your company revenue, which I'll get more in detail here in the next session at 9:40. There's also some great ways to increase website traffic. Because website is a website. If no one's going and visiting your website, obviously no one's going to use these tools on the site. So in the next session, I'll be getting more in detail about what the part search app is, how you can effectively use it to maximize your company revenue, and also I'll touch on some very effective points and simple strategies to gain more exposure and redirect traffic back to your website. Now next, Luke Brown.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Luke Brown. Like Steve said before, I work primarily with stock market tech support, also support some of Quantum. So you guys must have had a good night last night, considering you're all pretty quiet. You must have enjoyed that reception mixer. So what we're going to be going over is some of the data entry shortcuts with stockmarket.arrow. The first one's going to be the infamous green button. What I want to do is I want to go into Quantum, and I just want to show you what that green button looks like and where you can find it. Basically, you can find it on the master part record for any master part in Quantum, and it's going to be this one flashing here. And what the green button does is when clicked on, it's going to populate with all the stock lines available on stockmarket.arrow available for that specific part number. Now, there's a couple things that are really it makes a lot of sense, and it's easy to use this green button in Quantum because you can send multiple RFQs to multiple vendors with very few clicks. It's easy to do. All we can do is flag one of the stock lines, and then we could just send the RFQ. And now we can send multiple RFQs too if we so desire. Another really nice feature is going to be able to view the company info. Now we can go on here for any company listing on stockmarket.arrow. We can easily bring up their company profile. We can bring up their address, shipping address, the attention to, numbers to get in contact. We can also add this company to Quantum really easily, creating a company record. So it's a really nice tool if you're going in there, maybe you're looking for more leads. Maybe you don't want to send RFQs right now, but you want to get some more information, some more phone numbers, contact stuff. This is a great, area, great resource that you guys can use. Let's go back to all right. Now, the next thing we're going to be talking about is QCC files. And if you guys are currently using stockmarket.arrow, you've probably seen this as an attachment in an email. And basically, what a QCC file is it allows for the creation of quotes. It assists in quoting customers back, and it also assists in inputting information into Quantum accurately. And so, these QCC files, for example, if you have a part on stockmarket.arrow and someone wants to send you an RFQ, because you're a Quantum customer, we have a flag set, so you're automatically going to get a generated QCC file. And that QCC file is going to come in the form of an attachment in the RFQ email from stockmarket.arrow. Double-clicking that QCC file brings up a customer quote. It inputs all the information from for the person that's inquiring about it, populates it automatically, and if that vendor's not in your system, or if that customer's not in your Quantum will prompt you and ask you if you'd like to add it. So once again, it's another feature we want to give you guys. We basically are creating transparency and accuracy between the buyer and the vendor. That's one of the goals of the QCC files. It helps data entry, it's accurate, and it's quick. And the next thing I want to talk about is the pre-pricing tool in Quantum. So this is an available tool that you can use or not use depending on how you guys want to apply pricing. And what the pre-pricing tool does is it allows you to price out multiple stock lines at the same time based on rules that are based on the 6 base condition codes in Quantum. So you can set these rules globally for condition codes. And then I'll show you in Quantum on the master part record again. Let's see, let's go back to let's go to global, utility functions, and pre-pricing tools. And what this brings up is it brings up a couple browse windows. On the left-hand side up above, you're going to see any rules that you've set specifically for this part number and the stock lines for that part number it's going to affect. On the right-hand side, you're going to see the global default settings. And then below on the right-hand side, you're going to see the stock lines that those global rules would affect. And this is where you would apply pricing to all those stock lines in a one click. A couple ways we can apply pricing is we can apply it the list price with a discount. We can also apply it with the cost of the stock line times a markup value. And then if it's really cool, if you guys use price lines in Quantum and you've set those up, price lines can also be used to delegate pricing on individual stock lines with the pre-pricing tool. And so it's something that's going to help you save time. If this is something you do instead of doing it per stock line, it's a real easy way to update multiple records quickly and accurately and really maintain definition of those rules globally and on a more granular level. And so I believe up next we have, is it Cole? Yep, Cole Davidson, our CTO.
I think I'm the last one, so
I think you are.
it's almost over. So I just want to mention the Quantum Portal here. There's actually another talk later today where Frank Scales and I will get into a great deal of detail about what the Quantum Portal is, what it does, how it works, and what it can do for you. But for those of you who aren't familiar with it, the Quantum Portal is an optional module in the quantum system that implements basically a 24/7 web server on your network, as opposed to all the things we've seen so far in this talk, which are hosted here in San Diego by Component Control. The Quantum Portal is completely under your control. It's at your site on your network. It connects directly to your quantum system and allows you to publish a browser-based user interface for certain pieces of quantum functionality and make that available on the internet to your customers, your vendors, your trading partners, your employees who work remotely. It gives you the opportunity to, in a very controlled, secure way, expose just those features of quantum that you want to expose without having to grant access to other parts of quantum that may not be something that this remote user needs. In the past, to be able to give access to quantum to remote users, you'd have to do something like Remote Desktop Protocol or Citrix, and I know a lot of companies use those very effectively. But giving your customer access to your quantum so that they can come in and look at statuses on their repair order may be overkill, whereas with the Quantum Portal, you can give them browser-based access through mechanisms that they're all familiar with, that doesn't require any training, and you can give them access only to the things that you want them to have access to and restrict them from anything else in quantum. The Quantum Portal, as I say, it lives on your network, not on ours, and it connects directly to quantum, which means unlike other website systems that folks may have built, that quantum users may have experience with, where once a day or 5 times a day you're extracting data out of quantum and putting it into a SQL Server database or something like that because that's what your website is keying off of. In this case, there's no imports, no extracts. It's all connecting directly to Oracle and working in real time against your data. So your customer would see status updates on orders as they happen in quantum, which hopefully is offering as much value as possible to your customer and also therefore to you. One of the things you'll see in this later talk is that we've got functionality from across the quantum system that's available through the Quantum Portal, but we've really focused on, or tried to focus on, those features of quantum that if you could give your customer self-serve access to, it ought to save a lot of phone calls, it ought to save a lot of emails that your employees are having to deal with today. So the Quantum Portal really represents a self-service interface into your quantum system that you can tailor to exactly the experience that you want to present to your customer or potentially vendors or trading partners. It's flexible enough to be used in a lot of different use cases. There's been a lot of development over the last year on the Quantum Portal, and it's becoming a very rich and full-featured set of functionality. So if anybody is interested in seeing more about what the web browser-based capabilities of the quantum system are, please don't hesitate to come to the talk. I think it's after lunch later today. I probably should know exactly when it is since I'm speaking. It's at 10:50. Yeah. It's before lunch later today. And Frank Scales and I will be We'll be covering it in some detail. If you're interested in the sort of the IT aspects of it, I'll be covering some of that. If you're interested in the business aspects of it, Frank is going to handle all of that. So we'll look forward to seeing some of you there. Obviously, if there are any questions that anybody has, you can find me in the hallways as well, and I'm happy to answer them.
Excellent. Thank you, Cole. And speaking of other sessions, I know Maury already mentioned it, but next session, Maury is up next speaking about the part search app, and that'll be pretty cool. So just wrapping up, we have, again, more links for more information. Of course, stockmarket.arrow, the training page, component control. Do you guys go on the website pretty regularly? Componentcontrol.com. We have a lot of regular updates on there, a lot of great features. The See All Features page is especially compelling. They'll demo videos and training videos for all the different modules. It's very, very cool stuff. Of course, qgroup.org. I'm sure you guys are on there posting regularly, so that's always fun. Some of the key points to take home, we've got the part alerts and AvRef price searches, so making sure you're get the most out of what parts you have, most information. The part search web app and the Quantum portal, being able to give your customers the most out of your information, making the most out of your Oracle database and what your customer sees of that. And company logos and stock market placement, an added benefit to all Quantum customers. And of course, sending multiple RFQs with new broadcast message features, which is super cool. And it's more ways to, now as Quantum users, you guys may not use that feature as heavily, but it's going to give your customers more ways to send you RFQs and give you guys some more traction. So that'll be fun. And I've got my contact information on here. When you guys go home and show all your coworkers the PowerPoint presentation, you're going to sit down and say, check out all this cool stock market stuff. It's way neato. That's what you're going to tell them. We also have Maury's information on here if you want to get some more increased visibility for your company. Does anybody have any questions at this point? No? I think we got a couple minutes. Time is 9:17. Yeah, we have plenty of time. So that's the presentation. What we can show is we did not show the QCC file in real time, so we can do that real quick. That's a cool presentation. Just in regards to data entry, saving time. So if you receive a quote, so here's like an example of a quote that you received. It's got the from, it's got the to, the information's right on there, billing address, shipping address, very right to the point. But we have this QCC file attachment that if we double click, it's going to pull up Quantum. Boom. Would you like to create a customer quote? Which is, it's very cool. It's right getting to it. You say yes. It's going to pull up the customer quote header right for you. And so, just like any customer quote, you can change the header, but it's going to pull from that company information. And this is actually the point where if that company was not already in your database, it would pop up and say, hey, do you want to add this company into your database? And you say, yes, I would like to not type anymore. I would like to just click yes. So that's a lot of fun. And then it's going to pull up the customer quote, and it's going to pull up the line item right away. And there's also a automated response built into this where they will get a quote response email when you put in the quantity quoted and a price. So we'll quote them one at $100. We can put in some notes right here. Buy this. And we hit the OK button. Boom. Quote has been sent. That's one of my favorite things when it does that. So, and then we have, the customer quote. You're back in Quantum. Any questions on that? All right. Well, I think we'll just go ahead and wrap up a little early then. You guys have been wonderful. Oh, yes.
As a vendor who's listed as inventory through stock market, through ILS, and through Marketplace,
Mm-hmm.
with all due respect, all three of y'all, to the customers, market how easy it is to very quickly send out email blasts
Mm-hmm.
to everybody that's listed. But as the vendor who's on the other end of that, Cole is like already over the And I have a guy that fields those requests all day long, and he's learned over his experience which one are ways that he's not moving on.
Mm-hmm.
When he's on vacation, and one of the rest of us are fielding those, we respond to 25 to 40 quotes a day,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end of the week, you literally sold to them. So if you know that there's a company or that say my vendor that also lists their stuff on stock market, therefore I'm usually not going to sell that stuff unless they ran out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of those email blasts I don't even want to get. I want to list the product because there's lots of products that these guys are notorious for say making big runs on, and then a year down the road they're flat out. So I want the stuff out there. But my experience has been if they call me looking for it, then like I'm not a Hawker Beach people, so I don't get their discounts. But if someone calls me for that, I'll go to Hawker Beach's website and they're out. Well, that changes the equation a little bit. But I'd like to have an ability where those email blasts, I don't want to send a reply back to them insulting them that I don't even want to see the quote, but I'd just like it to go somewhere else.
Well, yeah. We can certainly change the. I would think the quickest way to handle that would be to change the email address that's going to. Now, are you talking about just the quotes in general, or specific ones?
I would almost want to let that guy who's fielding it, and I think you alluded to that, Cole, something like that. You said that you can use the portal to save you said something about saving your employees time with all these email blasts.
Right. Yeah, there's I can't tell if you can hear. It is on, okay. There's a few different approaches that you could take to try to handle that load, right? You don't want to take your material off of the website because you want there to be visibility there. On the other hand, it's not necessarily the primary channel that you're receiving actual business on those parts. If somebody comes to the website and gets your phone number and calls you, maybe that you've still gotten value from having your parts on the stock market website. There are certain folks in the business who want to get that flood of RFQs because this is the primary way they're doing it. For you, maybe it's not. And as Stephen said, it may be that the best approach for you to take would be either to change the email address that the stock market system is sending those emails to, and on your side, in your Exchange server or whatever system you're using for email, it should certainly be possible to break up those incoming requests into different folders or route them to a folder that people look at as a secondary part of their job, something like that. I've certainly seen companies choose to do it that way. I've also seen companies who just give us an email address that's a bit bucket and the emails just go away. They don't want to see the emails. They just want their stuff out there.
In my perfect world, I think what would be my ideal, because my guy who's walking this walk every day knows knows the companies he's getting those quotes from,
Right.
knows has learned whether it's productive use of his time or not. So I kind of like for him to be able to.
Hello?
Yep.
I would really, I guess in a perfect world, like for him to be able
to choose a quote from a customer or a potential customer and say, this customer is consistently sending me something that I can't just be competitive with, so send that particular customer's quotes to that different address.
Right.
So it's more customer-based versus like product line-based.
Okay, I understand. And I do things like that with my own email streams by using sorting rules in Outlook, and you can search by, or you can sort by keyword matches, including keyword matches off of the name of a company, and you could put those into individual folders. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I mean, to take it to a little bit more sophisticated approach to solving the problem you have, if you're able to recognize a set of customers who are consistently sending you RFQs that do translate into sales, the Quantum Portal gives you the opportunity to publish a storefront where you can create user accounts for the users, for the companies that you specifically know you want to consistently do this type of business with. And rather than having them always go to the stock market, they can go directly to your website, log in with the credentials you've given them, search through your live inventory, and submit either RFQs or purchase orders directly into your system. In that way, you've actually got much more control over who's producing what kind of activity in your system. But to do that, to make that most useful to you, you need to have a set of customers that you've sort of established this relationship with, and you can give them a dedicated access point to your system. And we actually have quite a few companies now that, in addition to having their inventory on stock market, which is basically available to the world to see, and potentially having a stock market part search app, which sort of makes a window into the stock market that shows only your inventory. So instead of having the search results come back with you and all your competitors, the search results come back on a branded web page with your logo that shows only your inventory. And then for an even higher level of sort of premium service to a specific set of their customers, they build a storefront in our Quantum Portal and give those folks direct access. And at that point, you can do things like generate customer-specific pricing. You can enable specific rules about which customer sees which inventory as available if you use consignment codes to block out inventory into different pieces. So it may be that we could sort of give you a solution where you can use stock market, part search app, and portal to segment that traffic into more manageable chunks.
Am I hearing you say that we would approach our customers and try to steer them, say, to our storefront versus going to stockmarket.aero?
Well, I mean, it's up to you. A storefront, well, the thing we used to call
I don't know
storefront,
how that would go over with them if they would, I'm not sure. I kind of wish Lane was here. I would ask him if he thought, he has that relationship, or they'll take the time to go elsewhere. You know what I mean? But
well,
it's another way of skinning that cat.
Rather than thinking of it as going elsewhere, the stock market is a public website, but what we used to call storefront, now we call part search app, and the Quantum Portal.
I just want to be told that wasn't me.
Nah, wasn't you. The part search app and the Quantum Portal, those are your websites. So rather than telling them, look, we've got a different e-commerce site we want you to go to, not stock market, we want you to go to xyz.com. Now you're telling them, you're not just one of the great mass of companies on the stock market. You're actually a valued repeat customer for us. And instead of going just to stockmarket.aero, of course you can. Our stuff's still there. We'd like you to come to our website and work directly off of our website. I'm not sure that represents telling them to go somewhere else. I think that just represents drawing them in and building a closer relationship between the customer and the vendor. But as I say, it's up to you. We've got all three channels that are available to you. But I've certainly seen some of our customers be very successful with sort of a shotgun approach on the stock market, but then also sort of funneling specific traffic through the Part Search app and through the Quantum Portal once they've established an ongoing relationship with a customer?
I think you'll probably be hearing from me when I'm back in Atlanta, because it's summertime and Lane's been on vacation for a couple of weeks, and we've been walking that walk, and I'm like, I don't want him to be bothered with these, and especially don't want other people without his experience wasting lots of time. So it's just fresh on my mind now. It's not something I got to deal with while we're here, but also when he and I are in the same room together, give you a call and talk about the
I'm sure that we can come
options.
up with. I'm sure we can come up with a strategy that that will help to the degree it makes sense to you.
To be continued.
All right.
It does seem like maybe Outlook folders would be the first immediate thing.
Yeah,
that's the other thing I want to talk to our IT guy. You talked about the keywords and such as that. So that's Outlook solving the problem versus the stock market.
Yep.
So I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to be at Cole's portal session. And it sounds like some really interesting stuff. So I think we're done. Any final questions? We've got 5 more minutes, maybe 4 more minutes. All right, excellent. Thank you, guys.